the grocery store that I used to go to when I was working, and I'd always shop there after work. And I was friendly with the cashier. She was very lovely, and she was very excited to see me pregnant and watch that grow. After I lost my son, one thing that my husband and I noticed was we like hid from any peripheral people who sort of knew our situation. So anytime I wanted to kind of buy groceries after that, I either like tried to make sure like I didn't get her as my checkout lady, or I just went somewhere else because I just like couldn't deal with having that conversation with someone. I think I've always been a very open person. We were full term, so like everybody in my life, peripheral people, everybody knew I was pregnant. Our friends hosted our family did a baby shower for us, but then our friends had hosted a baby shower for us in our apartment 2 days before I went into labor. So when I went into labor, like there was still stuff from this baby shower out, like we hadn't finished cleaning up, and so just the whole thing like was super surreal because like 48 hours earlier, like all these people were coming over and celebrating with us, and like so no one knew except like my best friend and like a couple of my like closest friends that like I had even gone into labor. We actually did have some people come visit us in the hospital and meet the baby on life support. That was really important to us, but other than that really close group of people, I felt like initially for that first 2 weeks, I couldn't talk to anybody. Like I just couldn't do anything. And then the other outcome of this whole situation was I started having these symptoms of being very hyped up. I didn't even know what to do with like what was happening in terms of being upset, but what was actually happening was I was becoming manic. All of a sudden, I just couldn't keep my mouth closed. Like I just wanted to tell everybody. We would have people over and I was just like chat, like talk them through the whole experience. And I even recorded, I was sort of interested in interviewing, and I was even recording some of those conversations and listening to them now, kind of after having been diagnosed as bipolar, which hadn't kind of been part of my life prior to that. It's just crazy kind of listening to everything that I was just, it was like my way of coping with it. It's episodic, and like if you've had a manic episode, it's super likely like that the next thing you'll experience is a depressed episode, and so like it can kind of cartwheel on itself. And that is absolutely what ended up happening for me. And also, before really getting diagnosed, I mean, I was just getting so far. And it's precipitated also by lack of sleep for mania. So, which, so I wasn't sleeping a lot after the baby had died. And so everything was just kind of folding in on itself. And I had what they will sometimes refer to as like a psychotic break, where you really are like you've actually lost, like you're making connections and putting things together that in reality have no basis, but in your mind, in your life, it makes 100% sense. For my husband, for my parents, for my best friend, like for all the people kind of in it with us, on top of everything we had just gone through with my son, like to then have this explode on top of it was just like crazy. And then my dad got diagnosed with thyroid cancer like 3 months into that, which ended up being fine, and he's healthy and whatever. But it was just like when it rains, it pours, and it was a lot.